Today we're getting up close with one of the most curious and clever creatures in the animal kingdom, the coati. With their long snouts, ringed tails, and playful personalities, these relatives of the raccoon are full of surprises. We're here at Claws and Paws to learn more from zookeeper Drew, who works closely with these fascinating animals every day.
Hi, Zookeeper Drew.
Hi.
Could you start by introducing us to these coatis?
So this right here is our male Coati, Clark. They are one of my favorite animals here at the zoo, and they are essentially like the South American cousin of the raccoon. Now, just like raccoons, you might find them in your trash cans, but more as you go south of the border. So right as you're getting into New Mexico, Mexico, and then more south into Central and South America is where you'll start seeing these guys instead of our local raccoon trash pandas, right? Now, he's a lot stinkier, but usually a lot nicer than your average raccoon.
What are the natural predators of these animals in the wild?
So these guys are going to get pretty much anything that would predate on any type of mammal. So like eat anything from large snakes to large birds when they're babies, or even other jungle cats like jaguars, or any of the animals that might put them on the menu. However, they are amazing climbers and they're also really good at getting away. But essentially any large predator that could fit them in their mouth is going to try to eat them.
Find a coati in the wild, and what kind of environment do they prefer?
It's a great question. So he is a mountain coati, so he's actually okay with some of the more chilly, arid climates like a mountain, or like in this case, the mountains in northeastern Pennsylvania, anywhere from like 32 degrees or right about freezing, all the way up to some of the more hot tropical temperatures that you'd find like a rainforest. So you'll find the coatis pretty much anywhere from desert climates to like very humid, mountainous, foresty climates as well. But essentially anywhere south of the border. You're looking from Central up into South America is going to be their natural range. So as you get more northern, past like New Mexico, you'll start to see more of like our local raccoons. And then as you go more south, instead of raccoons, you might start to begin to see coatimundis, which are these handsome little guys right here.
I've heard that coatis are omnivores. So what does that mean for their diet here at the zoo?
That is a great question. So omnivores, or what I like to call omnomnomnivores, means that they'll eat just about anything that they think is tasty. It doesn't matter if it's meat or if it's not meat. They'll eat it just the same. So just like raccoons, they're going to eat anything from chunks of meat, small rodents, lots of times bird eggs, or even things they find in like a trash can. But they will also eat things like berries and fruit and vegetables. However, one of their all-time favorite and primary diets in the wild are like bugs and grubs and critters you'd find in between rocks and in the dirt, which is why they have that amazing little snout.
So do coati live alone, in large groups, or a mixture of both?
So that's a great question. So Clark here is a male, which means he's a little bit bigger, but male coatis, while they are social, will oftentimes be traveling alone or in pairs, going between larger groups. Whereas female coatis tend to be a little bit more social and a little bit more intelligent because of it, and they tend to be in larger groups, choosing to stay with other females and their babies their entire lives. So where males will sometimes be in a group and leave to go be on their own, be very adventurous, females are a lot more communal, and you will find them in larger groups anywhere from 2 to 30. And so you will see females oftentimes with multiple coatis, and you might see males lone or riding solo. But so they kind of depends on how they're feeling. So they can be solo or they can be in large groups.
I know coatis are a threatened species. So what do you ever use these guys to raise awareness?
Of course we do. We tell people all about where they come from, the natural environment, the importance of habitat protection, and also the importance of not interfering with wildlife. Because oftentimes, just like our raccoons, they can become problem animals and have to be removed or can be threatened because people keep either hand feeding them or interacting with them in the wild when they shouldn't be. So it is important to make sure we spread awareness about where they're from naturally, what their environment is, and how do we protect it, as well as telling people to make sure we give our wildlife the space and respect they need in the wild so they can stay healthy and wild.
So I see that you're handling them right now, but would you recommend that somebody finding one in the wild would handle it?
Oh, of course not. So Clark here has been with people his whole life, whereas a wild animal will only just be seeing people right when you're seeing them. So they're going to be a lot more cautious and a lot more scared. And they are more likely than not going to either bite, scratch, or try to protect themselves because they don't know that you don't pose a threat. So never approach, try to handle, pick up, or harass any wild animals. It's important, especially with like coatis, raccoons, animals you might encounter regularly, to give them the space they need, and you can observe them from afar.
Are they a rabies vector species?
Actually, that's a great point. Just like their raccoon cousins, they can be a rabies vector. Like most active mammals, you will see that they can harbor rabies. All of our animals here are regularly taken care of by our vets, so we know that he is healthy. However, if you were to encounter a wild coatimundi or like a raccoon, especially if they're not behaving like they would naturally, you might be at risk for a rabies vector. So we tell people to always avoid any wild animals, not just for the animal safety, but for your safety as well, to prevent the spread of zoonotic diseases.
What are some fun, surprising facts about the coati?
So coatis, like I said, kind of related to a raccoon, but they have some very key differences. One of their big ones is that nose. So that nose oftentimes gets them confused with an anteater. This is actually an adaptation just due to the fact they like to eat grubs and bugs and things that like to hide in the mud. So that little snout is much like an anteater's nose, where it's used to dig around and root through the ground to pick up all those yummy little critters down there. So that nose is an awesome adaptation. Another really cool adaptation is that tail right there. So they actually use that tail to try to find each other in the wild. They'll have it lift up over their head like this, and they'll signal to other coatis, hey, I'm over here. Look what I found. Additionally, he'll also use these really cool wrists that can actually bend backwards to 60 degrees and rotate around to climb trees. So these guys are specially adapted both in their wrists and in their tails to climb very effectively. So they're amazing in the trees, both to find food and to get away from predators.
It can't be cheap to have these animals, so how can people help support the financial cost to having animals?
So here at the zoo, we just tell people come over, visit, buy something from the gift shop, or you can even make a donation to whether it's food or money to the animals, and any little bit helps. So if you come and visit or get something from the gift shop, all of that goes right back into feeding Clark, maintaining his health care, keeping him happy, healthy, and getting him new toys and treats. So if you want to help these animals, just come by and visit them.
So I really appreciate you meeting with me and telling me all about Clark here, and I can't wait to see what you've got for us in store for the future.
Of course, my pleasure. Always happy to show off the animals. They're amazing, and they are so happy to be here.
And if you guys want to check out these animals, come and visit Claws and Paws in Northeast Pennsylvania.